of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
Ooh. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Charge the Game podcast. I'll be your host here, Chuck, and we are about to get into Stephen A. Smith completely eviscerating the whole media and all of the ex-WNBA players for all of the hate against CALRK. Make sure you guys get in here, subscribe to the YouTube channel, thumbs up, like the video. Let's go.
There seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend SHERYL Swoopes herself.
Now, before he even gets into this, guys, you know I've been covering CALRK for a while, and I have exposed her and reacted to Jason Whitlock exposing her. It's like these ex-WNBA players just can't fathom the fact that they did not have the same success trajectory or level of attention, even during that time where I feel like SHERYL Swoopes actually got a lot of attention. They just can't swallow the fact that this white girl is taking over this sport, and for the life of me, they refuse to give it up. And that's why you're going to continue to see a lot of people like Stephen A. Smith come out here and straight up tell the truth, especially on his own platform, and I applaud. Let's keep going.
She recently spoke on her podcast, Queens of the Court, and didn't mention the rookie when speaking of Indiana's rise in the standings. Here's what SHERYL Swoopes had to say. Look at this quote here. I think the Olympic break really helped Indiana. I'm going to shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She's just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double. If Indiana continues to play the way they're playing like this, they too are going to move up in the standings.
Now, I haven't heard this podcast, but this is just egregious to even read. How do you not mention CALRK? She's literally unmentionable, if that's the word. She is the face of the league right now. There is no comparison. I'm sorry, Asia Wilson. Boo. I got to get you out of here. It's all about CALRK. They do a great job of making Asia Wilson and Angel Reese feel included. But the truth of the matter is, it's all about CALRK. And for this lady to go out of her way, it's not like the whole time you were going down a list. Imagine going down a list of players on the Indiana Fever, and CALRK's name is literally highlighted, and her name is the only name highlighted, and you skip over it. It's the only name highlighted. It is the only name that matter. Who's passing Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston the ball to make these shots off of all the assists? Let's keep going, man. It's crazy.
So no Caitlin Clark. SHERYL Swoopes. No Caitlin Clark. Respectfully, SHERYL Swoopes, you have any idea how that makes you look?
A hater.
You have any idea how that serves to stain any kind of critique of Caitlin Clark, because that gives fodder to those who believe she's being hated on and ostracized to some degree.
And let's be honest, guys. A lot of people also feel like CALRK is experiencing a lot of racism. I'm just putting it out there, and that's something that a lot of the people in the media try not to speak on, but it's just blatant obvious, man. But anyway, let's keep going.
Realize that SHERYL Swoopes, you're insane to do that. Let me tell you why you're insane to do that. Because SHERYL Swoopes, you're one of the greatest players ever in the history of basketball.
Facts.
See, you won a championship in college at Texas Tech. You won 3 Olympic gold medals. You won 4 WNBA championships. You know basketball.
Exactly.
You know basketball better than me. You know basketball better than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no...
Sorry to keep interrupting, guys, but look at all of the list of accolades that she has. Do you guys honestly think that SHERYL Swoopes does not feel any type of way that her name is never really mentioned? I mean, people talk about Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie over SHERYL Swoopes a lot, personally. So I want you guys to keep that in mind and just listen to where the bitterness and the jealousy and the hate towards CALRK genuinely stimulates from.
Hell, you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
Ooh.
And then y'all wonder what happened. See, remember when I was on the air on ESPN,
Uh-huh.
and I got into it with Monica Mcnutt.
Yes. Yep.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you, Stephen A., if you had promoted the WNBA more, if you had talked about it more, they would have played more games. Like I had the power to go up to ESPN and say, directors and producers and cameramen and everybody else flocked to the WNBA at the time when it wasn't nearly as popular as it was today.
Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that Stephen A. Smith is going to hold this grudge. He's going to put their face in this crow. He's going to keep calling out his co-host, co-workers, whatever, Monica Mcnutt, the Andrea chick, all of the what's her name? The African lady, I forgot her name. Shino, Shanae, or something like that, right? He's going to keep calling them out because he remembers exactly, especially Monica Mcnutt, when she said, with all due respect, Stephen A. Smith, you could have used your platform a long time ago. My thing is, why are people trying to leave it in the hands of a man about a sport who was irrelevant at the time, when they had the power to do it on their own? And now that we have the power to talk about CALRK, you guys are going to keep coming out saying that we are Uncle Toms. You guys are going to keep coming out saying that we don't know what we're talking about. We don't know the sport. You guys won't even give us a chance to even talk about the sport because you are too freaking emotional. I digress. Let's keep going.
What Monica Mcnutt accused me of, but it's okay. It's just a disagreement. See, y'all act like there's some buzz and there's a problem. No, it's a debate show. She has her opinion, I have mine. I happen to believe she was wrong. I happen to believe I was right. And I happen to believe the facts have shown that I was right. How was the attendance for Team USA in the Olympics? What would it have been like if Caitlin Clark was playing on that team? Remember the first game?
Wow.
Look at this right here. National broadcast viewership. What are we talking about here?
That's crazy.
1,000, what is that? 1.219? Is that the number? And the game afterwards got 485,000. So the Fever and their game against the Minnesota Lynx was 1.219 million. On Ion.
I'm assuming Ion is a platform that a lot of people don't know about because I certainly don't. But this here goes to show you the Caitlin Clark effect. Look at this. Now, this is my argument against the people who support Angel Reese and think that she is significantly on the same level as Caitlin Clark. Look at the standings. Look at what the freak happens when Caitlin Clark is in town or at a home game. Look at the viewership. There is no other WNBA team doing this. I'm sorry, I know Dejanay Carrington came out, and I'll probably make a report about that and sneak diss my girl Caitlin Clark. But let's just look at this. Look at the Caitlin Clark effect. You see the games under here? Sunday, the Storm, the Fever. I mean, look at this. It's ridiculous, guys. And Stephen A. Smith was right. They just didn't want to tell him that he was right because most women on that TV show, that media sports programming, they do not like to admit when they are wrong. They don't like to talk logical, and they like to be overly emotional. And it's quite frustrating and irritating to guys like us. We sit in the barbershop and talk like this all the time. Yes, there are heated debates, but nobody is taking it personal. I doubt that there are beauty salons that can legit talk sports general, and I doubt that the women will be responsible and mature enough to not claw each other to pieces. Let's keep going.
Go ahead and look. Everywhere you turn, Indiana Fever's breaking records. All SHERYL Swoopes did was validate all the speculation.
Yep.
That there's folks hating on Caitlin Clark.
Especially her.
Because to know basketball like SHERYL Swoopes does, to be as accomplished as she is, to be the Hall of Famer that she is, all accolades that are well deserved. And I'm certainly not attacking SHERYL Swoopes the person because I think she's a wonderful person.
I'm sorry, I will. SHERYL Swoopes, you are a hater. And this confirms what Stephen A. Smith is saying, that a lot of you ex-former WNBA players who did a lot of great things for the game are just simply jealous, erratical, and out of control. You guys just don't know how to hide it. Instead of being smart, you guys genuinely want in on the piece too. I know deep down that these former WNBA players, they want a piece of the Caitlin Clark pie. They just don't know how to come out and straight ask or to say, let me be associated or affiliated with Caitlin Clark because it's good for business. You see these deals happening for Angel Reese. Do you guys think that this is by mistake? No. Angel Reese knows how to stay relevant enough. Angel Reese knows how to play her role to get points and perks out of the Caitlin Clark effect. And something is telling me that a lot of these women want a piece of that too.
She's certainly always been nothing but class and nice to me. I'm only addressing a point. How do you talk about the Indiana Fever and mention a multitude of players and now one of them is Caitlin Clark?
Exactly.
Well, by the way, as a rookie leading the league in assists.
Right.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Hate.
I told y'all that. I've argued with the great Andrea Carter, outstanding analyst for ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Wnba, who's an outstanding basketball analyst. The two of them together, oh my God, that's an 18.
No, I'm not going to lie. Stephen A. Smith is just being nice here. They are terrible. He has to say these things. Deep down, him and Shannon Sharp really feel the same way that most of us feel when it comes to that show, and also how they view Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. Stephen A. Smith can do that, but I won't, because I know that Stephen A. Smith is very good at playing the middle man. But on Charge the Game podcast, I think that those two analysts are intelligent about basketball, but emotionally incompetent when it comes to keeping it real. And that's no slight. That's just what I've witnessed in my opinion.
Doubt about it. Nothing but love for both of them. And Monica Mcnutt, one of the preeminent voices of the New York Knicks, and what she's doing with her career, they know they got my support, all love. But I'm waiting for you to say I was right.
Oh, that ain't gonna happen.
Caitlin Clark can ball.
Man.
She should have been on Team USA.
Absolutely.
Because you needed the marketing buzz. I didn't say she was better than all 12 players that were on the team instead of her. Even though when they almost lost to France, I was getting nervous. Diana Taurasi wasn't on the court. I said, you need somebody that can shoot. And then Copper showed up and was doing her thing, and Elgin Wilson did her thing, and I was good. What I'm saying is, if you remember, their first game they had about 13,000 fans. Somebody else had 15. Everybody else had over 20,000 plus. You think that would happen if Caitlin Clark was on that team?
Case in point. Case in point, I made this argument leading up to the Olympics when they snubbed her. I said, you guys are going to regret this. And you saw Dawn Staley come out and say, if we had to do it again, we would pick her. She wasn't hooping like that. It doesn't matter if Caitlin Clark debuted and missed every freaking basketball that she shot. The point of the matter is her cult-like fan base would have drastically increased the ratings and viewership of the Olympics, not only the Olympics, but as it's doing in the WNBA. And these women are never going to come out and tell Stephen A. Smith the truth. They're going to be bitter. They're going to tuck themselves inside their emotion, and they are not going to keep it real. That's why I appreciate Stephen A. Smith, because he can be hot and cold too, and he picks and chooses when he wants to keep it real. But on this case in point here, Stephen A. Smith is telling it like it is, that these women will continue to hate, and he makes Jason Whitlock look like a genius, because a lot of people, who don't like Jason Whitlock, he's talking about the same thing that Jason Whitlock has been exposing. So let's keep going, guys.
I think that would happen if Angel Reese was on that team.
Maybe.
But especially Caitlin Clark.
Exactly.
Caitlin Clark is coming. Some people think she's already arrived. I don't. I think she's going to be even better. And I think that what she has done for women's basketball, especially in this country, has been phenomenal. There is no woman, no matter how great you were as a player, SHERYL Swoopes, there is no woman who should negate mentioning Caitlin Clark and what Caitlin Clark is doing for the game. I know the Monica Mcnutts and others were getting very, very frustrated at all of the buzz that was going in her direction, not to hate on Caitlin Clark in any way, because I'm sure Monica Mcnutt does not feel that way. She just knows that there were people on the ground, pounding the pavement, that were doing so much for women's basketball everywhere that deserved their praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is, it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up.
And that's a wrap, guys. Oh my gosh. Hey, Caitlin Clark is coming. like Stephen A. Smith is saying, and these women genuinely hate that. It's painful to accept. Get it through your skulls, especially for guys like most men I talk to, black men, professional black men, men in the barbershop, men on the corner. It doesn't matter. They are all rooting for Caitlin Clark. Okay, you got some of these guys out here who's just not going to go against the grain for the culture, or they're going to support maybe their black girlfriends. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not trying to make this about race. They are mad because black men, let's be honest, they are mad because black men are coming out to defend a Caucasian woman because we are looking at sports. We are not looking at identity politics or identity athletes. We are not doing that. We are genuinely in shock and awe of Caitlin Clark's performances, how she displays herself on and off the court, and how she continues to dominate. Just like on Game of Thrones, winter was coming. Guess what? Caitlin is coming, and it's not a damn thing that these people can do about it. So that's right, guys. Let me know what y'all think about this. Drop your comments in the comment section, guys. Thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Yeah.